Hey guys, Mrs. Traver here. We're going to work through the back of your notes that you got yesterday. This is section 6.6. So yesterday's that you did was 6.5 on a previous video. Today's we're looking at 6.6. So like I talked about yesterday in class, or today in class, whenever you're watching this, you want to do these the same as what we did yesterday, except it's just two problems on the same graph. So let's look at the first one. We're going to jump in. I'm going to try to be organized about how I color them and shade them, because otherwise it gets a little sloppy. So I'm going to be really particular about that and go slow. So my first one, I've got an intercept at -2, so I put a point there. And I've got a slope of down 5, right 2. I can't go down 5, so instead I'm going to go up 5, left 2. So that's enough for me to graph this line. So there's my first line, and I bolded it in because it is a less than or equal to. So I'm all set there. The shading is the next part of it. I am less than or equal to, and I can check a point 0, 0. If I plugged in 0, 0, I'd have 0 less than or equal to, that would go away. 0 less than or equal to -2, which is false. So I don't want to shade the side with 0, 0. I do want to shade the other side. The other thing we talked about in class yesterday is less than leads you to think left and down, which this is left and down. So this is the area I do want to shade. All right, let's graph our next one. We've got an intercept at +2, and we've got a slope of -1/2, so down 1, right 2. And I can connect all these to make my line. I messed up. Do you see my mess up? I should have done this as a dashed line. So I'm going to use my trusty whiteout, and I'm going to attempt to dash my line. That's my mistake, especially because I'm working in marker. But if you're in pencil, you can just fix that. Oh, this is going to look sloppy. I apologize. Fix my life a little bit here. So those are still blue. Okay. So it was dashed, or at least it's trying to be dashed. And then let's think about shading. It's less than, so that would be down, or we could check a point. If I check 0, 0, I should get true. If I check it, I'd get is 0 less than 2. That's true, so I do want to shade this way, which is what I expected. So I'm going to end out shading everything down. All right, so I've shaded in, and I have an overlap that's this really ugly green-brown color. But anyways, this shaded in region is our solution. So that shaded region is our solution. So before, when we had systems of linear equations, we just had a point that was a solution. Now we have a whole region. Let's do another one. So let's graph our first line. We've got intercept at 3 and a slope of -4/3. Oh my gosh, I did it again. This should be a dashed line. Please learn from me and think about that before you just draw your line. Caught myself before I highlighted though, so that's nice. Okay, there we go. So there's my dashed line, and I've got greater than, so I'm going to end out shading above. If I check 0, 0, 0 is greater than 3, so that's a true, so I do want to shade. So I'm going to end out shading down here. All right, let's look at our next one. We've got an intercept at +3 again, and a slope of 2/3, so up to run 3. This one really is bold, so that's good. All right, and then our shading, it is greater than, so if I had plugged in a 0, 0, it'd be 0 is greater than or equal to 3, which is false. So I don't want to shade on the 0, 0 side. I want to shade on the other side up here. So our solution is right in this region. Everything in this region, including the orange line, not including the blue line because it's dashed. Let's try another. So this one, we've got intercept at +5 and a slope of -1. So down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. It is a bold line. And it is greater than or equal to. So if I plug in a 0, 0, it'd say 0 is less than or equal to, greater than or equal to 5, which is false. So I don't want to shade this side with 0, 0. I want to shade the other side. All right, my next one I've got, oh no, notice this is not in slope-intercept form yet. It almost is though. If I were to move this 3x to the other side, then it would make this be the equation y is less than or equal to 3x minus 4. So let's use that. So I've got intercept at -4 and a slope of 3. So up 3 over 1. And it's going to be bold. This one is a less than or equal to. So if I had plugged in a 0, 0, I would have had, coming up here, 0 is less than or equal to -4. And that is, which one, true or false? 0 is not less than a negative, so that's false. This one we would have shaded this direction. So this one's a little bit different in that we don't have an overlap of shading. At least we don't on the graph. Notice we don't see the overlap, but if you continue these lines out, they would eventually, I'm trying to show, they would eventually cross and our shading would eventually overlap. But on our graph, it doesn't. So that's totally a possible situation. All right, let's jump down here. I'm going to skip this one. I was going to make one up on the fly, but let's skip that one and move down here. These ones look a little bit different. They've got what looks like the answer already done for us, and we're trying to go backwards. So let's first deal with one at a time. So let's label this one the first line and the second line. That way we can take them piece by piece. So looking at this first line A, we have, let's set up our boundary. Y is greater than or equal to. I know I'm going to have less than or equal to since it's to the left and it's bolded in. I've got a slope of, down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right 2. So -5/2 x. And our intercept here was at -2. There's our first line. Our second line B. We are going to set ourselves up again with the y. It is going to be shaded this way, so down, and it's not bolded in, so less than. Our slope was rise 1, run 2, so 1/2, and it was going down, so -1/2 x for our slope. Our intercept was here at +2, so +2. So if we're looking for the system, then our answer would be these two equations. The last one, So let's again label our equations. We've got this guy and this guy. So for the first line, we've got shade to the left and it's dash, so less than. We've got a slope of down 4, right 1, so -4. And an intercept at +2. So there's our first line. Our second line is a horizontal. Horizontal lines are of the format x equals. Remember our Hoy-Bucks? So horizontal lines are y equals. So we have y equals, but it's not equals, it's going to be above. So greater than, and it's at height -2. So our answer on this one is the system of these two equations. We will call it a day on these notes. I hope that this helped you out, and I will see you guys tomorrow.